Check, check. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. In my line of work, stroke symptoms like dizziness get missed, and the result is the patient's never able to walk again. It's because diagnosis is a timely thing, and without that time, there is no treatment. I'm Christopher Taicher, emergency doctor and repeat founder, and I built MedQ to solve one of healthcare's biggest problems, physician knowledge gaps, responsible for diagnostic errors, the major cause of diagnostic errors, which are responsible for nearly 400,000 deaths and cases of permanent disability in the US every year. In addition to patient harm, knowledge gap-related errors contribute to about $3 billion in annual malpractice payouts, and diagnostic errors add about 3 hospital days to admissions, which is over $10,000 in extra cost per case. So what's happening? Doctors are burnt out. They can't keep pace with millions of publications every year, and they're still spending thousands of dollars on outdated education tools. The solution is MedQ, AI-powered analytics for personalized clinical education. Our patented AI engine builds clinicians a living learner profile for using data like their testing patterns and their bedside interactions to then continuously course correct them. Let's watch a quick use case of an ER doctor studying before his shift. He's going to start studying board-style questions like this one on antibiotic choice. And his performance is going to immediately trigger the AI to pull the most relevant articles and videos based on his knowledge gaps. Today, we pull from PubMed and YouTube, but importantly, our patent covers connection to any global database, library, or platform. Then, during his shift, that same ER doctor is going to go and see a patient with chest pain and turn on Sidekick to help him not miss a diagnosis of pulmonary embolism, which is a blood clot in the chest. In this sped up video, Sidekick is going to use the conversation to autocomplete a standard of care checklist. Mrs. Smith, have you coughed up blood at all recently?
No.
Have you ever been diagnosed with a blood clot?
No.
Ever been diagnosed with cancer?
No.
And any history of surgery?
I had surgery on my wrist a couple weeks ago.
The doctor enters a few inputs like heart rate, and the tool calculates the overall risk of pulmonary embolism, which in this case is 16%. The patient needs a CAT scan. Unlike our competitor, Open Evidence, Sidekick explicitly uses validated decision rules. This is just one of many, and it feeds the data into our education loop. We'll also feed in ML process health records to look for error patterns. Another critical part of the decision loop is the board-style questions, which when integrated with MedQ's tech, which we've done, makes us a vastly superior product in the $1.5 billion board prep market, with the natural progress into the continuing medical education market, which, by the way, last year logged about 23 million physician interactions. I'm going to wrap it up real quick and show how we solved our scalability problem and show you that with Aorta, we can build that content, the board content, very quickly. We can take a paper, plug it into Aorta, and after I hit generate, in under 10 seconds, we have a copyright-safe, professional quality exam question with explanation. It works across profession, like law, but our first users, our venture starts with emergency medicine because it's an accessible wedge of emergency physicians making high-stakes decisions.
Have you spoken to surgeons about their willingness to do extra work, such as take these courses or answer these questions outside of their normal busy day?
So I think that's a good question. So I mean, we do have traction. We did a soft launch, and we see that among 150 downloads, we have about an SPAT of 11.5, meaning they're using, there's 11.5 sessions per active device. So they're using the device in a 30-day period. So every 3 days they're using this, and most of those were resident physicians. But as you can see, the continuing medical education market is quite large. So it's imperative both by state requirements, like in Pennsylvania, us doctors have to do about 50 hours per year. So there's requirements, and then there's a self drive to be up to pace with what's happening.
You mentioned Open Evidence. I think they've raised like $700 million, $10+ billion valuation. They're in most of the hospital systems today. How are you guys going to catch them? Like, what's the differentiator?
So basically, we're basically human validated, and it's more of an assist tool as opposed to being AI information retrieval. We're trying to feed everything back into that education loop, so we improve the physician because the physician's not going to be entirely taken out of the loop. They need to know what to look up, for example, in order for open evidences tools to be of any use. Like I mentioned with the Sidekick tool. Basically, we use explicitly validated tools as opposed to open evidence where they're just like, oh, what questions did I forget to ask? Do you know that it's using anything validated? There's not a high fidelity of trust there. As we know, only in polls, 20% of patients really trust the AI to make decisions for them. So it's more about using an assist tool rather than relying entirely on the AI.
I had a similar question. I'm trying to understand everything that you've mentioned, like Gemini MedLM can do it right now. I'm just trying to understand what is the differentiation here? Like why cannot Microsoft or Gemini or even like GPT now, even Claude Cowork will help you understand when you feed in materials to like design it this way. I'm just trying to understand what is that differentiation.
Absolutely. So that's a fantastic question. So with the limited time in the talk, I can summarize it with the fact that we have a human-trained model that's professional quality without being really domain-specific, sort of domain-agnostic. I'm speaking specifically to start with the aorta model. Okay. We have broad generative controls as well, and we connect to the proprietary loop. Thank you so much.